Happy weekend to everyone. Welcome to another week in review for this Friday, June 17, 2022, even though it's midnight, after midnight, and it's really Saturday, but this is news for the week in review. Hello to everyone that came on, and if you didn't get the chance to watch this replay on Instagram Live, or you can, on your Instagram feed, or you can, look on it on YouTube, which will be posted after this live. I'm not going to be long. I'm going to be quick and straight to the point. So let's get into it. So we have COVID-19 because, yes, we are still in the midst of a pandemic. It's been 2 years and 3 months, and we're still in the midst of this. So when it was declared as a national emergency from the national emergency living inside the White House. Global confirmed cases are at 538,456,398. The global death toll is at 6,317,470. Here at home in the U.S., we account for at least 25% of these cases around the globe. And keep in mind, we're only 4.2% of the world's population in America. We are. So U.S. confirmed cases are at 86,216,418. The U.S. death toll is at 1,013,358. So let me repeat these numbers. Global confirmed cases at 538,456,398. The global death toll is at 6,317,470. The U.S. confirmed cases are at 86,216,418. And the U.S. death toll is at 1,013,358. In terms of doses of vaccination, 313,448, Americans got a dose of the vaccine as of yesterday. And as of the number today, 221.9 million Americans, that is 67% of the world's population, are fully vaccinated. So I'm not surprised that the number is still slowing in terms of vaccinations, and the numbers are increasing in terms of cases and deaths. I said before, I said 2022 2 years ago, but I'm assuming we'll be in this until the middle of next year when we're fully out of the clear of COVID, because we're still seeing trends of cases, new variants popping up. We're seeing more variants going to pop up during the summer, with all the gatherings happening, around the summertime, around 4th of July, August. We're going to see an increase between September and October. The White House said they projecting 100 million people to get COVID. I don't know what kind of strand. I don't know how serious it is, but that's why it's important to have the vaccine. And if you're eligible to get the booster, please get the booster. And yeah, still continue to wear your mask. That's it. That's all. But that is what is to come. So we got to continue to protect ourselves. Now, in terms of the politics of certain things, the January 6th committee, what we found out that John Eastman is a whole entire criminal and knows the law and knows better, which I'm not surprised, and got hatred towards our current vice president. And Vice President Mike Pence was about to get killed. Which, this is not surprising. This is something that we already knew. But this is what the nation has learned, because some people have tapped out of the January 6th committee and the investigations. Not I, because these same insurrectionists are people running for Congress and running for state and local elections. That is the grand old party, now the grand insurrectionist party. The other party of harboring domestic white terrorists and insurrection. I am not surprised by this revelation, but I will get into more of reading these folks. But in terms of Virginia Thomas, some of y'all know her as Jeannie Thomas, but I'm going to call her Virginia because that is her name, has to testify to the January 6th committee. We don't know if it's going to be behind closed doors, or is it going to be in person or live television. But she's going to bring her husband down. And of course, he's going to try to fight this full and through, which you can't fight this. This is insurrection. It's sad that the Supreme Court don't have ethics rules. They need to. This is where the Congress will come in and create these rules. The Senate in particular, because the Senate is the one that appoints. No, excuse me. The one that confirms the people in the Senate. So here's my advice to Congress. I think one of you senators, most likely the Democratic senator, or if you Republican senators, if you guys cared about your country like you call yourselves patriots, you will create a ethics amendment or a law that the Supreme Court has to follow, because there's no ethics rules. And so if you care about this country, you will put that into motion so we don't have a situation like this where a Supreme Court judge, a sitting one, a long time sitting one, is running into stuff like this because their spouse can't shut the fuck up or stay out of politics and sit to the side and be a wife or a spouse. So Congress, if you're listening, you guys need to put out an amendment or put out a law where there needs to be ethics rules in place. So when shit like this happen, a sitting Supreme Court judge need to resign. And that is what it is. Wagwan Queen, happy TGIF. Long weekend for some of you folks to learn and educate yourself of Juneteenth. If you don't know what it is, look it up. It's a holiday commencing slavery, the end of slavery, officially end of slavery in Galveston, Texas. The holiday started in 1865. That's 157 years ago. So I advise you to read it and watch different documentaries and so on there. And that's for you white people too, because you guys are getting this day off because of our holiday, of what we went through. So you should be doing the research too. Maybe you can learn something instead of yapping your gums. If you're real allies, that's what you do. Shut the fuck up and read and learn. Read some damn books, as Dr. C say. Moving right along, we had midterms. Before I get into the part of the midterms. Oh, absolutely, Queen. Before I get into the unique part of the midterms, let's read some of the results from the South Carolina midterms happened this week, and I don't know if it's Nevada. I'm not quite sure what other state had it, but primaries so far for Tuesday. Oh no, I can't look at all of them. Hold on. Okay, so Nevada did have their primaries. So for U.S. Senate, it's some guy named Alex Lawtot, and then Dina Titus won her primary for the House for the 3rd Congressional District. This April chick won her primary. Those are Republicans. And now we're going to go to South Carolina, where Nancy Mace shockingly won her primary after Donald Trump, endorsed her opponent, but she won by 53% of the vote. Let's see, Russell Fry beat Tom Rice. Sucks for him. And in Texas, this girl named Mara Flores won her primary. So it's a special election, so I'm assuming she's going to be a sitting House member. Dear Lord. So that is that. Thus for the battleground states. Maine had their primary, and there's some people named Penegry and Golden won their primaries. Nevada Cortez Masto won 90% of her votes. She did well in her primaries. So let's see how that plays out. She's a good senator. Newark, New Jersey just had, I think, local elections. North Dakota, Katrina Christian won the primary for Senate for U.S. for North Dakota. She'll be battling John Hooven. Let's see how that plays out. Of course, I already read Texas. Now I'm going to get into South Carolina. So there's going to be a runoff for the South Carolina primary between Crystal Matthews and Catherine Fleming Bruce and Angela Gitta. Oh my God. They're going to be doing a runoff and it's going to be crazy. I already read about Nancy Mace. And then I'm going to get into this primary, because this shit is hilarious. Oh, and yeah, and Joe Cunningham has advanced as the governor, Democratic nominee. He'll be facing McMaster in the fall. So Representative James E. Clyburn of South Carolina's 6th Congressional District, also known as the Kingmaker, and the reason why we have a President Biden and a Vice President Harris, won his primary by 88.6% of the vote. That is 27,579 votes. Second place is Michael Addison. He is a... don't know what his background is. Well, he won his race by 7.3% of the vote. And then Greg Marcel Dixon. .1% of the vote. That is 1,262 votes. Let's repeat that again. Greg Marcel Dixon earned only 4.1% of the vote. 1,262. The teacher who was born in Savannah, Georgia. Dixon's professional career includes working as a teacher. He earned his bachelor's degree at Fort Hays University in 2009 and a graduate degree in 2013. And you tell me you don't know how the government works? And the fact that you wasn't even born in South Carolina. You were born in Savannah, Georgia. My aunt lives in Savannah, Georgia. My father's sister, who was from Harlem. So, his people, though, it's funny. I have to spend my time on this because I'm in the time to read section. This is a great segue to this. So, Harpo, that's what I call him. I refer to him as such. Had the Black Cassidy to come for one. So, I would like to read some tweets that I screenshot because I think it's imperative that we do so for this moment in time. So, Harpo wrote, "Today is the day. Vote for Marcel. If you notice any discrepancies or you see Clyburn's name on the ballot but not mine. Please immediately write to this boxing person or text 1-916-600-9126 or 843-940-8983 or email repairblackamerica@marcelforcongress.gov. Thank you. #reparations. Funny shit. And then he got as Molly Wop, earning only 4.1% of the vote. In a matter of minutes, though, before that number, he earned 124. 3% came in. It was already done. It was already over. It was over 90%. So he decides to get into this kind of screaming match with Bakari Sellers, who actually was elected and served in the South Carolina House of Representatives and is a accomplished lawyer. You know, there's certain things that Bakari has said recently about our vice president. I digress, even though he's, morphed into somebody, but this dragging was well needed and well deserved at that. So here we go. But before I get into that dragon of Bakari Sellers dragging Marcel also said, Harpo said this. Apparently, an older couple went to a polling site in Orangeburg, that's my mom's home county, did not see my name but saw Clybourne and Dr. Addison and decided to vote for Clybourne since they did not see my name. If this is true, the rage is at me might turn, And then the South Carolina State Election Commission said, "Hi, Marcel. We confirmed that your name is on the ballot at the polling site. The couple mentioned could not have been confused. You're listed as Greg Marcel Dixon." Oh, God. But here's more. So, Harper was mad basically at Bakari because Bakari was calling his ass out. So, Harpo said, you lost capital, your election in spite of having money and previous experience. And I just launched my campaign 7 to 8 months ago, so scratch. And here goes Bakari. I tried, but you want to do this. FYI, I won 4 out of 5. Won my first race at 21. You got 400 more votes for Congress than I did when I won a state house seat. And when I ran statewide, I received over 500,000 votes and got over 40% not for, but my invitation is always And then there's another one that is remotely embarrassing. Isn't Charlemagne the guy from South Carolina? Did he offer to interview Marcel for Congress? No, Charlemagne the guy did not. But he took Scamala to get some collard greens, ski wee. First of all, you're not supposed to say that. I'm not even supposed to say that. It's an AKA code thing. But I would like to say this to Greg Dixon, a.k.a. Marcel, a.k.a. Cato, because that's what you introduce yourself as first, a.k.a. Harpo Johnson of 2022. Let me just say this to you. You lost. You lost. You only earned 4% of the vote. We all knew you were going to lose. It was only a matter of time. You really thought that you were going to beat James Clyburn? You really thought you was going to beat, excuse me. I'm saying his name all wrong. This is how eager I am. To Marcel Dixon. Excuse me, Greg Marcel Dixon. Also known as Kato, because that's you introduced yourself before. And Harpo Johnson, because that's what I called you. Because you have mommy and daddy issues. You do. You look like you do. You look like you had some struggles when you were younger, but I digress on that one. You really thought you was going to beat Representative James Clyburn? You really thought you were going to beat the Kingmaker, the number 3 Democrat in the House of Representatives in our federal legislative branch? You really thought you was going to beat Rep. Clyburn? Hell no. No. When you first had your spaces back in November of 2021, during Thanksgiving weekend, calling the vice president Condola, you already lost your race. And in that same space, you disrespected James Clyburn's grandson, Walter. And then you got on all these other platforms, not knowing what kind of campaign you were running, because you was running as a reparationist, and then you're a leftist, and then you're pro-Second Amendment, then you're anti-LGBTQ+, even though you are LGBTQ+. I'm confused on your platform, and I'm pretty sure it confused the hell out of people in the Orangeburg County, and Columbia, and Richland, and all the other districts that Representative Clyburn represents. That you were actually running against him, knowing that you did not have a motherfucking chance in hell. But you chose this fight, so you got your ass mollywopped. You got fucked up in this race. You did. You got bruised badly. And instead of congratulating Representative Clyburn, you're basically going down the Donald Trump path of this election is rigged. I got more votes. I got over 50,000 votes, knowing good and damn well you got only 1,200 and some odd votes. So therefore, you're a 4% loser. So Forpo, if you're listening out there, I predicted by 7:03 you were going to be a podcaster. And I was an hour off, so at 8:03 you became a potential podcaster, which you're probably going to suck at that too, because it's going to be an epic fail. And you're just going to be nothing but a motherfucking grifter for the rest of your time. If I were you, I will go back to teaching the kids. But before you go back teaching the kids, make sure you teach yourself some fucking civics. Because God damn it, you don't know shit. Oh my God. That time when he was like going off, I was drinking. I was drunk. No, I wasn't drunk. I was tipsy. I was tipsier than a motherfucker. He deserved all of that. And some. And speaking to his minions, as the foundational Black American people, I'm gonna need for you motherfuckers to come up with some new shit when you try to come for me. That I'm going to the school of coonery. You guys are the biggest coons. You guys are touting the white man's message. You guys are so happy to have white people in your corner. Ask Tariq Nasheed. He loves his white mother-in-law. I mean, the fandom of it. Ugh. You guys ain't pro-black. You guys are nothing but grifters and ignorant motherfuckers. That's what you guys are. And lastly, want to address white Democrats. So I always get on progressives all the time for being stupid, which they are. You know, like the Michael Tracy's of the world and the David Wadus of the world. But white moderates seem like they always go unscathed a lot. Like they always go unscathed. And you got the Bill Crystals of the world that is just stupid, saying that Steve Kerr can be the next Dem presidential nominee for 2024. Am I surprised? No. Obviously, he wanted Mitt Romney or Liz Cheney, one of them motherfuckers. Between him, Tom Nichols, and Mr. Anonymous, who revealed himself like 2 years later after writing an article about he's the resistance in the Trump administration. Yeah, him. Seem like they have an issue with not just our vice president, but black women running on the vice president ticket. They say they want to create unity with Americans, but they are really the dividers in the world, those men. And those are the most misogynistic men in our politics. So to Bill Kristol, Tom Nichols, even though you didn't say nothing really, but you are stupid too. And Mr. Anonymous. If you don't know what Mr. Anonymous is, just look him up. We don't need your motherfucking advice. We don't need anything for y'all. We just need you to shut the fuck up. We're not taking advice from white men anymore. The Democratic base is changing. It's not full of white people anymore. The majority of the voters are black people, and they're not going to vote for an all-white ticket, especially a white person who has a history of voting against everything for black people and by black people and about black people, including Elizabeth Cheney. And let's just be clear. Elizabeth Lynn Cheney is not a savior and not a fucking hero. Just because she's sitting on the 1-6 committee, thanks to Nancy Pelosi, she is not a hero. She recently voted against the Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act of 2022. She voted against Juneteenth. She voted against the George Floyd Justice and Police Act. She voted against the Voting Rights Act. She voted against the American Rescue Plan. And I'm pretty sure she voted against the infrastructure plan. I'm not quite as sure. She voted against a lot of shit. Oh yeah, and the baby formula thing too. She voted against that. So why the fuck would she be President Biden's VP when President Biden is way more to the left than she will ever be? She's not even in the center right. She is fully a far right extremist. She voted against the Democratic Party how many times? She voted with the bum over 93% of the time. Between her and Adam Daniel Kissinger. Why the fuck is she a hero, and why would she be considered as the president's VP? The whole point of having the president having a VP, President Biden, is someone that is ideologically on the same path as him. And the last time I checked, is this vice president, not Elizabeth. So I'm a need for Bill Kristol, Tom Nichols, Mr. Anonymous, and all you white worshiping centrist moderate motherfuckers of Liz Cheney having a love fest for her to shut the fuck up, get out of her panties, and stop wishing her success on being a vice president, and stop considering her, because she will never be. Elizabeth Lynn Cheney, as I said before, would not be the vice president over Vice President Kamala Davis Harris. Black women would not let that shit happen. And to more people, Casey Hunt, this is for you. Michael Richard Pence don't need to be honored by Democrats. Michael Richard Pence need to go away. Go away. Get out of our TV screen. Get away from the media. Just go away. Go away. He's a punk. He did not speak up. He still denied the insurrection until he testified. He's full of shit. Point blank in the period. And this is to Tom Swazi. And Jumaane Williams too. You two had no business in this primary. Some people may get mad and say, why are you saying Jumaane Williams don't have no business in this primary? Because he didn't. They don't have a fighting chance to beat the incumbent. The person who could have beaten the incumbent, and that would happen, is now running for re-election for her position. Yeah, her, the black lady. My preferred candidate. But because she gave grace, as a modest person, as a God-fearing woman, with the pressure of some people in her circle and some people out of her circle, we ain't gonna call no names because everybody know who I'm talking about, dropped out of the race to clear the path for the white lady. So once again, it was not to clear the path for Tom Swazi or Jumaane Williams. So your supporters need to cut that bullshit out. And Tom Swazi in particular, you, sir, keep disrespecting black people and women, you're going to find yourself on the out with the Democratic Party. Because the party is becoming more diverse with people of color, black people, brown people, indigenous people, LGBTQ+, more women. Not a lot of white men. They're becoming extinct or switching parties. Ask Joe Lieberman. But until then, stop disrespecting Alvin Bragg, D.A. Alvin Bragg. Stop disrespecting the incumbent governor, Kathy Hochul. And stop undermining our AG, Letitia Ann James. Please and thank you. And this is to all white men. This message is universal. It's all white men. Stop undermining black and brown people in high positions, in executive positions. We did not get here because of you. We got here because of our own success. We went to college on our own success. Most of us paid out of pocket or took out loans or went on a scholarship. And that includes with grad school. And got our own jobs. We established our own accolades. We don't need you, white men, to be disrespecting us out here. Because most of y'all ain't all that smart. I work with some of y'all. Y'all not even all that smart. Y'all can't even put two sentences together. So, pretty much, we got this. So stop coming for us. And stop disrespecting us. Please and thank you. Oh, yeah, absolutely. The 25th hour, yep. And make it make sense. EW hasn't written a bill. Yes, Elizabeth Ann Warren. Cheney is still a Republican who vote with the party 90% of the time. Yeah, make the shit make sense. Make it make sense. Stop putting that lady on us. Stop. Shit. That's all I'm saying. Well, until then, folks, have a good night. Have a safe Juneteenth. Learn, read some damn books like Dr. C said, and be well and be safe and stay hydrated, stay medicated. I'm not just only talking about weed, but making sure you take your allergy medicine. Until then, folks, and stay masked up too. Till then, folks, have a good night.